Hello again. This is Mike, Creation Creator, here today to speak about creating free from ourselves. Creating free from what we think our creations should be like. As artists, musicians, writers, or creators of any kind, there's so many ways that we can limit ourselves when we are creating things. And it's so simple how to resolve the matter where we feel that there is a certain way our creation should turn out, that there is a preconceived notion of how it should be, and also what others may think of it. So as creators, we create things, and it brings us great joy to do so. It's one of the reasons we're alive. But we're also very good at getting in the way of creating the things we love. And this happens whenever we are creating to try and prove something. Why do we want to prove something? Creation should be a pure, effortless channeling of who we are. And if we're trying to prove anything by doing it, we're completely restricting what could happen. Take for instance, I created this background track in this song as a ambient, meditative, relaxing, loopy little song for the background of the video. However, if I would have tried to create it and make it a certain way, if I would have constantly told myself it wasn't good enough, or it's not how good it could be, this never could have been made, and this never could have possibly helped someone out there. So, in order to create at our full potential, what we do is we create for the sake of creating, and not for the sake of proving anything, not for the sake of trying to impress anyone, not for the sake of trying to make a living at it. Although if that does happen, that's amazing and beautiful. But creating for the sake of creating is to create the way the divine created us. The divine didn't have anything to prove. It was already complete in itself. But regardless, it extended its own essence through us to create itself in a way it imagined to be, so that it could behold itself and love itself and celebrate itself from within the creation in a way it never has before. And as creators, that essence lives in us. We are the power to create things that have never before existed. And we are the power to make manifest the things we dream of and imagine, and to imbue our Creator essence into it, and behold ourselves in it as an extension of our own self-love, gifted to us by the Holy Creator. And so in this world, when we create from a false, separate self, which is real but not the central part of our identity, our creative power is tied in knots, and we're incapable of manifesting and creating the things we know in our heart. For when we do that, we can't create in the image of the Creator that created us, because we're doing it not out of love. We're doing it out of fear and worry that our creations won't be accepted, our creations won't be good enough, or why should we even try? We're not good enough to create what we want. But to create in the image of love is to create for the sake of creating, and to create for no reason other than to bring joy to ourselves and others and anyone who shares in our creations. To create free of fear is to create in the image of the love that created us. Only then can we create beyond any limitations and doubts of ourselves, and we can create to extend our own essence and love and make manifest the love we know in ourselves around us for the sake of others. This song that's playing now in this background is an extension of my own creative energy. It didn't exist before I created it, except as potential. And what created it was the will and intention and resolve to conceive it and make it manifest. And as creators, when we create things, whenever we see them around us or hear them, it's a magical experience of experiencing yourself, beholding yourself, not out of an arrogant, egocentric way of how great you are on your lone little self, but how powerful you are as a child of God, creating things that have never before existed to glorify the light that created you. Where is the part of us that hinders our creative potential to make sounds and songs and stories? Where is that self that stops us from being what we are? It's only in our imagination. We give it energy because that part of us is afraid of being unraveled The part of us that tells us we aren't good enough to create, it can only tell us that because it's afraid of its inevitable unfolding, dissolution, and return to wholeness in the oneness of the Creator's perfect creation, that I am, that we are. To know ourselves as pure and perfect children of God with the power to create anything we conceive, and the power to be the masters of our own physical lives, masters to share the love that we know for ourselves and others, and to demonstrate the spiritual truths and love that we know in our lives, and our ability to be fearless and create the things we wish to create for no reason other than creating it and beholding our own selves within it, to prove to ourselves how powerful we are, how magnificent we are, and how divine we are, and how worthy we are of remembering our royal heritage as children of God, creators that wield the highest power in existence. And the only thing that can stop us is our own unwillingness to see ourselves in the light of the Creator's presence. Our own fear of losing the part of us that cannot persist because it is not a real creation of God. Only creations of God are eternal. The part of us that is eternal is the part of us that creates. The small self that worries and wishes it can create but it cannot is only a passing dream, and only has the power that we give to it and the power that we allow it to have from the outside world, of a world that tells us we cannot create. However, we are children of God's love. We are creators that can create anything at all that we can conceive of if we would but have faith in the creative power, presence, and love that created us, and to create fearlessly the lives we wish and the passion we wish for in our lives. We invoke the light that created us to make manifest our creative power and flow through us for the highest good of ourselves and all sentient life, that all suffering may be liberated in this world, that all love may be felt, all truth may be known, and all hearts may be free, and it may begin with us, by our power to create in the image of love, to create fearlessly for the sake of creating and not to prove anything at all. And so now, in closing, I ask anyone who listens to this to fearlessly create the things that you want to create. Write a story, paint a picture, compose a song, and do it regardless of if you have training, and just do it. Create as the creator that you are by invoking the love of the creator that created you. And so, in the name, power, and authority of God's love, manifest in us as the children of God that we are, I command this to be so. And so it is, and so we are. Amen.